This is from one of the greatest Twitter feeds on Twitter. And I say that not just because it's Dave Rubin clips that mock him, but also because I'm blocked by Dave Rubin, and so I can't see what he's trying to promote at any given time.
Thank you, Dave Clips. Public service for at
You'll
least for
recall
us.
that Dave Rubin just had a sit down with Russell Brand, and as far as I can tell, much of it is just Russell Brand just going like, I need these viewers. Is Dave Rubin still on Blaze? Is he still on the Blaze?
Oh.
I think he kind of is doing his own thing with locals.
I think
and
locals
Rumble.
is the primary function for him now, but he still is on YouTube and on Rumble as well.
Yeah, but he used to be on the Blaze, and then people found out that he was adopting.
I think
son
it's
with his
still
husband.
start of Blaze TV Plus, the Rubin Report. I think it's still, at least they have the marketing materials still up there too, along with
Sidelight.
Levin.
He doesn't mention it much.
I mean,
but
it's a
here's
bit of
Dave
a
Rubin.
ghost
You know,
ship over
and
there.
we had this. What did we play the other day of his where he said, like, I had my guys check it out?
Oh, well, it was him talking to Russell Brand and saying he had one of his guys make him a fake vaccine passport so he could eat at Boa, the steakhouse.
But he's also, I think in the past, talked about his guys of like doing research for him, which is so fascinating about this. Watch this first clip. I mean, Dave Rubin, once he gets his teeth around a nice bit of racist misinformation, he goes to town on it. He really dines on it. I mean, because it's I don't know. Watch.
I don't know if you know this, but you know when they appeal this thing, it gets appealed to
we
the
should just
Supreme
say
Court of
he's
New York.
talking about the Trump conviction. You know, and people may not have heard this, but our former president Donald Trump is a convicted felon now. And there's been all sorts of ways that the right wing tries to sort of like spin this. You know, it's how come Hunter Biden's not a convicted felon, even though he's on trial right now? How come, you know, this is such a petty crime, even though there's been 9,000 of these type of criminal convictions in New York? And here's Dave Rubin with his new spin that, of course, it's the blacks.
I don't know if you know this, but you know when they appeal this thing, it gets appealed to the Supreme Court of New York, obviously not to the Supreme Court of the United States. The Supreme Court of New York has 5 black female judges. Now, I don't judge anyone based on the color of their skin or on their gender.
I'm about to do that.
However, it is virtually, someone ran the numbers on this and one of my guys can correct me. It's virtually impossible statistically to have a court makeup of 5 black women. You know what I mean? So DEI and diversity did get these women, at least some of them, the job. So then you have to think, do they all kind of think the same thing?
Wait, can you pause it for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
So he has an algorithm for the mathematical possibility for the proportion of blackness and black femaleness on appellate courts. I didn't realize that the guy was able to just create such an airtight mathematical equation to determine whether or not the possibility of the number of black people on a judge panel is.
He has different teams, research teams, and one is just his algorithmic research team.
I don't judge people by the color of their skin. I log that into a spreadsheet and run just sort of calculations on it.
But and remember now, he's saying that it sounds like there's 5 judges on this Supreme Court he's talking about in New York, and all 5 out of 5 are black women. That is, whoa, what a coincidence. And of course, if they're all black women, I mean, I don't see race, but they're all probably thinking exactly the same. Go.
And I'm going to do math, and it's definitely not my racism.
Because if you're a black woman and you have 2 black women, of course they think the same because they're both black women. So, okay.
So then you have to think, do they all kind of think the same thing? And do they think judicially the same thing? And do they all kind of think the same thing about Trump? And what a horrible thing to have to think about, that just because of someone's skin color and gender, but they're going to file the appeal to go to the Supreme Court of New York.
Yeah, what a horrible thing to have to think about. And I've had to force myself to think about it constantly. I love Russell Brand's reaction.
I mean,
It really debased performance. I watched a good chunk of this, and Rubin takes we don't even know what if women are women and men are men anymore. That Russell just sits there and cheerio in a way that he knows that's wrong.
All right, go ahead.
And skin color and gender but they're going to file the appeal to go to the Supreme Court of New York because this is a New York trial. We showed you video about a month ago. It's 5 black women because of diversity. Now, oddly, the diversity they care about is always about skin color. Somehow the left's diversity ends up with 5 black women being in charge of the Supreme Court of New York. So do you think, now I don't know all of their judicial beliefs, these
sure?
5 women, but do you think that they probably think similar things and they probably don't like Donald Trump and that's probably how they got the job in the first place? Like, do you think, is that a crazy conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
I know you know this.
Pause it. Okay. Because we're going to get to the punchline is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just be clear here. Hi, I see that you're an attorney and you're a black woman, and we generally don't ask these questions before we appoint judges, but what's your feeling about Donald Trump? Okay, you're in. Hey, Steve, it seems like black women have all the same opinion. Let's just find 4 more, and then we've got all 5, and we're all set for our Supreme Court in New York State.
well,
You have to be a massive racist to think that black people in the political class don't have a wide array of opinions.
no,
about
they
different
have a shared mind. Well, I mean, that's kind of how it works for all gender, racial, or ethnic categories. I mean, Sam, you're a Jewish man. Dave Rubin is a Jewish man. Would you say that you
Identical.
think identically about politics?
and ideas.
Well, identical, except for I'm cis and he's gay, and so
That does
Right.
break some things up, but
False comparison, Emma.
I am cis, and I guess apparently I have the same exact policy positions as Marjorie Taylor Greene. We are in the same quadrant, or
you're
what,
a
eighth?
heterosexual white woman.
Cis
you
woman,
and Marjorie
yes.
Taylor Greene, same
Yes.
opinions.
Yep.
I am a cis heterosexual male. I can't possibly have the same opinion as Dave Rubin, even though we're both Jewish. So that's where things get complicated.
Yes, right, exactly. Gray
You gotta go
areas
to
for,
your,
for
you got to
the-
go to your secondary level of identity, I guess, or after skin color. But I never see skin color.
But if we want to just,
here is
do we want to
the-
just quickly fact check this about the panel? Do we want to just quickly fact check the number of justices on this panel?
Oh no, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that after, okay.
That's sort of like because
Cherry
there's
on
a
top.
bigger problem with what he's talking about, and that is he doesn't know what he's talking about. Go ahead.
That on the appeal side, there are 5 black female Supreme Court justices in New York. They wanted diversity, and they actually got the least diverse thing. Now, I know, of course, that your skin color
The
and
Supreme
gender.
Court is the lowest court in New York. Court of Appeals is the highest court.
Wait, so the Supreme.
not 5
Oh, so
female-
it's not going to the New York Supreme.
No,
It's nice
I know
talking
New
to
York is a
lawyer.
wacky.
Oh, okay.
New York has a weird
Oh.
name for its courts. Supreme Court is the lowest court, is the trial court.
So that's not the appeals court.
No.
Oh, well, that's refreshing.
It'll go up to the appellate division
yeah,
first
I like being
department.
corrected on air, by the way.
Oh,
So one of the guys didn't check it out.
the guy got the
guys took it
mathematical the input was wrong into the Google sheet.
So just so you're clear, because this doesn't capture just how, I mean, obviously it captures how racist he is, but when you understand how little this guy investigated what he's talking about, and how wrong he is about everything associated with this, then you realize, like, oh, he's just thought that he had a good racist trope and ran with it. In New York, there are 62, is it 62 counties? No, it was 60, but 62, about 60. And they each have their own Supreme Court, and it's not a single court. There are many justices on it. And in New York County, how many justices are there, or judges are there, Bradley?
Oh, and the one he's alluding to, there are 21.
21.
21.
On the appellate division of the first department, which they're talking about.
And are there 5 black women on
There are 5 black women.
There are 5 black women in this, and oddly,
Less than
like,
25%.
it's 25% now. In New York County, I don't know. I don't have a guy to do a spreadsheet to determine whether there are too many black women on the court to represent how many black women are in New York County. But regardless, that is where actually Donald Trump was tried, on that judicial level. And then it will go to an appellate court, and then it will go, if it makes it this far, to the Court of Appeals, which has 7 people on it. And I know all 7 are not black women. So Donald Trump is safe there, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the Bronx is about 30% black, and Manhattan is about 11. So you combine both of those, which is a jurisdiction, but probably about right with 521.
I'm going to need a spreadsheet to determine
DEI.
whether there black people are overrepresented on the court. Okay.
Are you working on that, Bradley? You're working on it?
Bradley's doing it right now.
Have an AI do it.
We have a guy.
But I mean, I appreciate being corrected. Like, this guy is going around, and did we find what it was? Was it like some picture? What was it, Bradley?
Some
Did you-
meme.
Yeah, it was a
He
gutter
got
level
this from.
racist
Yeah,
who
pop this up.
posted.
Yeah, this is what Dave Rubin thinks is some type of
Misleading. So the tweet said, I guess, Trump conviction is a New York State case, so can only be appealed within New York State, not to the Supreme Court. Let me introduce you to the Manhattan Appeals Court. Good luck. And it's a picture of 3 black women there.
Or the 5.
Oh, 5.
yeah, there it is.
Judges who took a picture because they all happened to be placed not on the Trump case, but on a different one together, and it was a historic thing, or a rare thing. Not like, oh, this is the plan versus Donald Trump. This is our team.
See you in your nightmares, Trump.
Doesn't it seem like such a waste? Why are you paying 5 judges when they all think identically because they're all black women? Why wouldn't you just pay 1? This is what people are government waste. Government waste.
You're right. You're right.
Do you imagine like what must be involved? I mean, I honestly think that it's admirable that Dave Rubin does not have, at least as far as I know, a horrible drug addiction, because the idea that he can remain like conscious and not have some form of escapism and have to live with the level of stupidity that he displays in public on a regular basis, in addition to obviously the racism that he thought was going to help him out there.
I got such an interesting insight into this Trump thing that I saw from some racist on Twitter.
And I'm going to, in every interview, look at, incidentally, those 3 images of him on camera, today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was convicted on Friday.
Yep.
So he has done,
It's all he's done.
I don't know if he's done any other media aside from his own show, his interview with, Randy Rockets, and going on Megyn Kelly. Maybe if he's done anything else, he said it. Like, the guy was out there, thought that he had, like, I've really hit pay dirt with this.
Yeah.
With this mathematical equation. I mean, he does have a drug problem, but the drug is attention. So that's, I think, what kind of cushions the blow for being so wrong and all the time and so dumb in public.
It's also funny because him and Russell are in a weird
Attention and
position
money.
where they need the Trump audience, but they're also too anti-vaxxy for Trump, so they kind of have, and they're DeSantis-y, so because they're in the Rumble universe, which is just basically a subsidiary of the DeSantis campaign. But what Megyn Kelly should have said to Dave Rubin when he got that fact wrong was this:
You don't respect the rule of law. You've shat all over it. That's what you did. And we know it now.
Can we play the whole clip here? There's a little bit more. There's like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is a wacky.
Oh,
New York has a weird name for its courts. Supreme Court is the lowest court, it's the trial court.
So that's not the appeals court.
No.
Well, that's refreshing.
It'll go up to the appellate division first
I like
department.
being corrected on air, by the way. That's actually very refreshing.
Good news.
Yeah.
And then it'll go up to the Court of Appeals.
Seething.
So it goes to them first.
First, it'll go to the appellate division, first department, which is the area that he was tried in, like Manhattan, and then it'll go up to the Court of Appeals, which is our highest
leave
court.
it up.
I know.
Don't take it down. But you can almost see his palms sweating now. Mm-hmm. Like he's getting he's having to he is just so embarrassed. And it's very. There's no doubt that he's embarrassed here. It's just unclear that it's like he fully takes in like, oh my God, I can't believe how racist I am. He doesn't really think about that. It's just more like, oh, I'm being embarrassed. But at least she's a lawyer, so I don't have to really know what I'm talking about.
It's a flashback to Rogan when Rogan's like, no, that's not
100%.
true. You need building codes because they'll cut corners.
Yeah.
In like Manhattan, and then it'll go up to the Court of Appeals, which is our highest court. I know. I don't know why they call the Court of Appeals the highest court.
Interesting. All right. Well, at least I had a
But anyway, I mean,
had
look,
a legit error. Okay.
What's a legit error?
I mean, like I had the racist error, and then I had just a mistake, like it didn't know anything I was talking about error. So
I mean, it seems like the guy had the error. I mean, the guy didn't have the
damn guy.
The
The
input.
He had 3 days.
The guy. I mean,
do it. I had a guy. I got a guy who gives me. I got a guy actually who sells me a misinformation wholesale. And so you never have to
I picked this guy up from a Jimmy Dore who fired him after he ran Fonsom Act.
this producer can't get it right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.